Hello, MMA community. It's your boy Joe Dog. He's back in the house here at you to give you some picks, predictions, expectations, and a way to make some great money during these crazy times that we're living in. All right. So you don't have to take my word on it, because if you go back, this is not the first video you've seen of me, and if you'd like, you can pause it from here and go check out my previous videos. My first one I posted was a couple of days before UFC 254 started. I gave you guys a prediction. I gave you guys a estimate and a forecast of what the predictions were going to come out to be looking like. And because of my track record, my years of doing this, and my confidence, I don't always do this, but it just happened. I said that this is going to be one of those weeks, so I'm going to be having a perfect day. Perfect, and I didn't expect more than like one wrong, maybe two. I said even that's not likely going to happen, but I ended up having a perfect night, 12 out of 12. I did hedge one fight, so only one of my slips out of 9 of my parlays, 8 of them cashed. The one that didn't cash, as you can see in the images I left in the comments, I put some links to my images for my tickets. You can verify them with the casino. The bet slip is on there, and the casino's information is on there. You can verify that, and I can show you statements from my bank account when I got the funds from my online casino as well. So overall that night, on physical bets from the casino, it was an $800 plus a $100 hedge turned into $6,520 out of a $900 bet. Or in total of $900, we turned it into $6,520. That includes my 3 straight single bets, and the rest of them were 8 parlays that cashed. So you'll see the tickets for most of them anyways. And then on my online casino, I put in a total of $240, and we cashed in $1,900. So that's another great return right there. So between $1,900 and $6,500, we had about almost $9,000 we won that day, minus what I put in. So about a profit of almost about $8,000, a little short of $8,000 for UFC 254 Gaethje versus Khabib. We're gonna do better next week. I'm gonna tell you why. My picks are just as confident about these picks, but the line movement, we're gonna get ahead of it for 1. 2, the odds are just much better. We had too many big favorites not paying as well as they are this week, so this is a great opportunity to take advantage of. What we're gonna do differently than we did last week is we're gonna invest a little bit more money in straight single bets, but also still do the parlays. So it's gonna be just the same amount on top of just additional single bets that we're going to put in, because the confidence and the way the odds are paying, you don't have to do no skipping on, because the odds are way too slanted and doesn't make it worth it. So in this week we can put more single bets, because the odds are more closer to being reasonable. Here's a bit of a difference. If you're wondering yourself, why should I be looking at this guy's new? He's not verified yet. He's not. And besides looking at my images, my pictures, I even showed you videos of my tablet on live while I was on camera of my casino slips and stuff. So that speaks. You can't fake that stuff. But more importantly, you'll notice it throughout when I'm talking that I'm not obviously casual. I know more than a casual would. But more importantly, here's one of the reasons. For example, like I've watched a lot of podcasts in my days. I've seen a lot of people who do this, and what they do, like here's one example, it makes me different and better than the rest of them. Okay, every single person I've seen doing this, they all talk about having value in, for example, one of their ideologies, logics that they use is, if there's a line that's way too wide and somebody shouldn't be that big of an underdog, if he's like a minus or a plus 400, he should have not been that big of an underdog, let's say, because he should have had a better chance than that to win the fight. They'll recommend putting your money on him because there's a value there. That's not a value. Just because he should have more of a chance than they're giving him doesn't mean you should still fall into that trap and put your money on it. I don't put money on bets that the favors are not in my side, are not on my side. In that case, I'd be better off playing black or red in the casino and hoping for 50% out, because that, even though they're wide some of the times, I'll agree with that, that's not 50-50. If the guy's a favorite for a reason, it's more towards 60, at best 60-40, but most of the time it's even worse odds for you. So that's not a value. That's flushing your money down the drain more often than not. Anyways, back to the week. We're coming up on fight night, Uriah Hall versus Silva. And there's a lot of other things we'll get into in the future about tips and things that, you know, I don't want you to be misled on, and that a lot of people that are probably who follow others who've been doing this, who are, you know, according to the most of the casuals and even, you know, some newer hardcore fans, the people that you would imagine you can trust. There's a reason why these guys are doing this for a living and not doing other things, because their ideologies, their logics, it's very, very, at best, mediocre. There's not a guy on my level of thinking, on my experience with this type of stuff, sees right through that. I don't want to use bad words, but just idiotic. Anyways, back to the week. Took some notes. I do hours, just to let you guys know, man. I do have a full-time job. I'm self-employed. I have a business, but this is my passion. I love this sport. I've been doing it. I've been involved in it. I've fought. I've trained. I've betted. I've just been a fan of it. Even when I have no money on the sports, I don't miss a fight just because I love it. So if I turned it into a way to make it beneficial for everybody. And so I did hours just for the fun of it. I do hours. I may be doing more now that I know I have the responsibility of giving you guys advice and betting tips. I made it a priority to put more time into watching tapes and studying them. And with my brain IQ knowledge and fights and fighting, I have an undefeated record. I can show you guys Windy City Boxing Club on Costner and Ogden on the Chicago South Side, the worst neighborhoods of the Chicago is where I grew up, and I trained at a very young age. There's so many stories I'll be getting into one the videos that I have some time to just talk with you guys and get to know you guys more. But right now I'm a little bit pressed for time, unfortunately. I gotta be somewhere very soon, so I'm gonna have to skip through most of the details and just get to the picks, and so I can see you guys making some money. All right, here we go. I don't know the order of the fights, so maybe this will help. I'll use the website. If the orders are not right, it's okay. Just take some notes or go back and listen to the video. Let's start with Bryce Mitchell, Andre Fili. Bryce Mitchell, undefeated. He doesn't, usually his fights are not very close. He usually dominates. He's a very hungry lion. I definitely see him working for my money. Even if he was an underdog, he's the type that, you know, you can feel good about putting money on. But in this case, he's a favorite for a reason against a guy who's a very game opponent. This guy, he's come in and, you know, he's proven himself against people that were favorites. When he was an underdog, he's fought and, you know, got upsets. So this is not one of those cases, though. Don't worry. Bryce Mitchell is a lock, in my opinion. You can go for him as in a parlay, or you can go for him in a straight bet. Like I said, I'm really pressed with time. I don't have the time to see the odds right now. I don't know if he's a big favorite or what, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. I'm just going to give you my opinions. I'll try to make another video and break them down more thoroughly and give you guys details. And obviously, if there's any questions that you guys have regarding a fight or statistics or anything like that, please feel free to ask it in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you guys when I get more time. So Bryce Mitchell, I'm going to give you guys as the first pick. Kevin Holland versus Muradov. The guy's a very game opponent as well. This is going to be a fight that you don't want to miss, don't want to blink. And depends on which Kevin Holland we get, man. I mean, Kevin Holland on his worst day, he's going to be a handful for anybody. He's got some type of techniques that most fighters are not used to dealing with. So he surprises people. He's very unorthodox and kind of reminds me like a Jiri type of style of fighting. But when he comes focused and he comes ready, like when he knows he needs to put the foot on the gas, hey, quiet. He does know how to win fights. So I'm hoping we get that guy, because he's going to need to, especially, I mean, you know, one of the things that I'm not too concerned about this fight as much as I would have been is the inactivity from his opponent. His opponent's been inactive for quite some time, and quite opposite for Holland. He's been super active during these post-pandemic at UFC stages that we're in right now. So that's an extra plus for our guy. He's known how it feels to be without the crowd. He knows the smaller ring, and he's just used to so many of those advantages that he has as well. And also there's a huge size and reach advantage there, I believe. Sorry, I'm recording this last minute, and I think last few videos that I had, I was using the camera on the opposite direction, so you may see some better quality. I got a $1,500 phone. This is the Note 20 Ultra 512 gigabyte Mystic Black $1,500 phone, 100 and something megapixel camera. They call it the iPhone killer. Its cameras got 100 times better megapixels than the iPhone or any other phone. So I bought it for you guys. Literally, you should have seen the phone I had before this. I look like a caveman. In the caveman days, still flip phones and antennas coming out of my phone. But anyways, back to the fights. We're at now, what fight? Okay, so Kevin Holland, I would definitely give him the edge on this, and you know he's gonna have some work to do, but I give him the unanimous decision for sure. Let's see here, Greg Hardy and Maurice Green. Greg Hardy has shown himself to be improving each and every time, you know, and he came in with some super athletic, you know, advantages. This guy, I don't know, I was on the football team all my life, and I know how their training is. These guys go hard, and I think, you know, when you bring that over, you have automatically, if you don't have the experience advantage, you have other types of advantages that'll play in your favor. Especially, you know, they teach you things like who the lowest man is always going to be the guy who gets the takedowns in football. You got to be the lowest guy when you're coming in for a shooting for a takedown. And there's also, it's not just athleticness that makes them have an advantage here, but also, you know, things that you can implement that transfer from a different sport to this. So I definitely got Greg Hardy taking this one. Next fight we got Bobby Green versus Moses. I mean, he's got to redeem himself. I mean, he should be on a longer win streak in my opinion than he really is on. So he's got some things that I think is going to make him fight extra hard, knowing he can't afford to let any things get in the way of getting this W. And he's definitely super motivated. I've seen him at his gym, and he's the guy that puts everybody to work and clears his gym out at the end with, and he'll be the first guy in the doors and the last guy. Reminds me of myself. So his ethics alone and his motivation, and I know where his mind is and his body, they're on the same page. So a guy like that is dangerous. And Thiago Moses, as talented as he is, he just doesn't have enough output, doesn't have enough, you know, to, I think, pull away with this one. This is a bad matchup for him. So I'm going with Bobby Green, and I may even say that this could be a parlay piece, just considering, you know, the timing of this fight and how important it is that he needs to get the W here. Hernandez, you know, he's a bit chinny. Next fight, Hernandez versus Chris. I'm not even going to try Gritsemacher, I think is how you pronounce it. But, you know, besides a knockout puncher's chance here, and, you know, with Hernandez's chin in the past, I do say that there is typically slightly bigger chance than the normal punching chance that people have that are going against somebody who's more skilled than them. But, you know, 7 or 8 out of 10 times Hernandez pulls away with this fight. So I'm going for the odds that are in our favor. Definitely not a parlay piece, especially not at what I think the odds are at now. They're climbing pretty fast. So stay away from putting this guy into a parlay. I can see punch making the difference of cashing in a parlay or not. So stay away from that. Jason Witt versus Cole Williams. This fight is one of those, you know, that another one you don't want to parlay it, but it's a very similar situation where I definitely want to go, especially with the things that I'm seeing from Witt recently, from the improvements that he's making, and physically, and you know, just all around. It seems like he's going to come into this fight better than he did in his last few, and he should be able to get this one in the bag as well. So I'm definitely going to have to go on the side of Jason Witt, this was one of those fights initially, before doing some research on, I was going to stay away from, but I'm comfortable putting a straight bet on Jason Witt for sure. And again, we can break it into the more details on the next video, but next fight, Sean Strickland versus Jack Marshman. Marshman, I'm not very high on. I think he's more like the kind of guy that you put in, like, when you want to help keep your guy in shape at the gym. You don't want to give him too much of a workout. You just want to keep him on ice. You put in a guy like Marshman in the ring with your boy. It's going to be outclassed. He's going to be outclassed out in every area. This guy is not going to be able to show any path to victory. So I just can't see why Sean Strickland wouldn't be a safe parlay piece here. So I'm definitely going to say Strickland as a good parlay piece. I don't know the odds. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not as prepared as I would have liked to have been on it for this video. It's kind of rushed, but let's see. Next fight, Jason Witt. Oh no, we got that already. Dustin, Jacoby, and Dustin. I'm sorry, Dustin versus Justin. All right. Let's see. What notes did I have on this fight? I remember I wanted to speak about some stuff about this fight. Well, you know, let's again, I'm not going to focus on the details, but I'm definitely going to have to go with Jacoby on this one. You know, Ledette does have paths to victory, so this is another one that you may not want to go into. And by the way, if you guys want, I'm looking at the tablet. I do have pages full of notes that I wish I had time to get into, but unfortunately, that has to go on the side for now. So I'm going with where did he go? Yeah, Jacoby. He's got a good record. Everything looks, you know, nothing really to talk about here. That's my pick for this fight. Next fight, Courtney Casey. Women's MMA, you know, it's gonna be real easy to call, or it's gonna be impossible. Like there's no middle with these type of fights, in my opinion. But because you know a lot of fighting has to do with the mental aspect of how you're coming in, and with the woman, they're unpredictable. If you're a man, you're married, you know, when you walk in the house, you don't know which wife you're gonna walk into and bump into. So their character, you can't live with them, or can't live without them. Well, you can't bet on them, and you can't bet without them, because they're a huge essential now. You know, women's MMA is becoming a big part of mixed martial arts. You know, I remember when I first started watching, it was unheard of to even think about having a women's MMA fight, but it's a big thing now. So we gotta get with it or fall behind, you know. So I'm definitely gonna have to go. You know, her record can look scary, as she got 9 wins and 8 losses, but if you look at her opponents and who she's lost to, none of those opponents, I think, even would have been a close fight with Priscilla. Priscilla would have had no chance. She would have lost to every single one of those people as well, and probably lost to them by much worse than Casey, because Casey's got some splits, and you know, she beat Angela Hill. We've seen how Angela Hill was game. You know, against Watterson, I think, in my opinion, she even won that fight. So if she could pull victories on people like that, then she should breeze by Priscilla. Shouldn't even be. So that's another parlay piece I think you can put. I don't want to do this too often, but I would parlay piece Casey. Depending on the odds, again, you gotta see. I mean, you can play with it on your website, or if you're going to the casinos, just see what the difference would be with them on your parlay and with them without her on your parlay, and see if it's a noticeable discrepancy having her on your parlay or without her. You may want to consider leaving her out, because we don't know how you know, Priscilla can't really. We don't know where her mind's at, and we don't know where the other girl's mind's at. So we'll see. But my money, I'd have to 9 out of 10 times go with Courtney Casey. All right, John Miles versus Kevin Natividad. You know, I can understand why some people are rooting for the underdog here. I mean, they're going with the underdog here. You know, he is shown some stuff that's been impressive. You know, he's only got 1 loss, as well as Miles. But just the path to victory is just so slight compared to the paths that Miles has, that I'm gonna have to definitely 9 out of 10 times go with Miles Johns on this one, and I'm actually very confident this is going to be one of my, I don't know the odds, but on a straight bet, I'm going to put my bigger investment will be on Miles Johns to take this W from Kevin, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I checked the odds correctly, that this was one of the better valued single bets that we can put our money on. But yeah, definitely I'm going with Johns on this one. Adrian Yanez versus Victor Rodriguez. You know, Rodriguez, there's not much to learn about this guy in the short career that he's had. We don't know what he's done, and I don't know much about him outside of the fights that that they have that you can find on him. But from what I did see and what I do know about Yanez, this should be a mismatch on the feet. This should be like no paths besides, like I said, like everybody has a puncher's chance. I mean, besides a puncher's chance, I don't see how Victor can win this fight. And Jaynes has proven himself to be pretty solid. I don't think he's ever been knocked out or submitted in his career, so I have to double check on that. So I'm sorry if I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that he hasn't been knocked out or submitted, and his only chance of losing this fight, in my opinion, is getting knocked out. So especially, like, you know, this one kind of reminds me of like the Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson fight. It's probably gonna end up getting stopped later on towards the end of the second, or late in the second, or early in the third, maybe even late in the third. I just see a stop after accumulation of just flurries and just being mismatched and torn, like picked apart on the feet. And his takedown defense is solid, so I don't see this guy getting taken down and controlled. Just in every aspect, I just see Jaynes pulling away. This is another confident parlay piece of mine. So just to recap, we got Jaynes as a parlay piece, Sean Strickland as a parlay piece, Bobby Green as a parlay piece, Greg Hardy as a parlay piece, and how can we forget Uriah Hall? So putting them together, man, if I gotta look at the odds, that should be a nice payout. So pretty confident when I go with these types of parlay picks. 9 out of 10 times they cash. So, but there's a beauty behind my system. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. It's not gonna just be that parlay and make it or break my night. I do have a different I make my own self-made round robin system. I can get into hopefully in the next video. I'm gonna show you guys the different variations that I putting all my favorite picks in a different combination with other favorite picks, and then mixing and matching it so that if 1 or 2 of the fights don't go our way, we are still going to make at least 2 or 3 times on a bad day, no less than 3 times, or 2 or 3 times. I've never had 2 times. On my worst night, I've made at least 3 times my investment back. So if I start the night with $300, I've never made less than $900 cashing out. So 3 times my money back is not necessarily 3 times my profit. So I say about 2 times your money back. But whatever. Anyways, these are confident picks. I'm not guessing on any of them. I'm not hoping for the best. There's a reason why I go undefeated or no more than 1 or 2 wrong. There's a lot of thought behind this, and I'm sorry, like, again, I couldn't break it down for you. I'm running absolutely late to pick up my kids from school, so I don't want to be late for that. You know, that's important. But I will definitely, when the kids are at home, we won't have the luxury of having the silence like this. So I needed to take advantage of recording this video, or it wouldn't have been done today. And so I appreciate your time. If you're watching this, look for my next videos. Please hit the like and subscribe. Reminders so that you can take advantage of the line movements. And any time I see breaking news, or if I get some inside scoop on something that changes and I need to go with somebody else, I want you guys to be the first ones to know about it. It'll be financially beneficial for you, especially if you're a bettor and you may need to hedge on a bet before the lines move and everybody else catches wind of it. So reminders are super important. It can make the difference of saving and making a lot of money. Anyways, thanks again for your time. I won't take up any more of it. God bless you guys, and be safe out there. And please leave your any contact. I know a lot of people can steal contact information, so what I'll do is I'll send a shout out to you on my next video if you leave your contact information, and that way you know it's me that contacted you. My email address, I'll give you a clue. It's gonna start with the word Joe and have 4 letters after it with 3 numbers. So the name Joe, 4 letters and 3 numbers. Expected to come from that type of an email if I'm responding back. You can get some additional break if you want prop bets. I have some very good prop bets that are likely to hit, and some, you know, over under rounds if you need as well, that I did some thorough researching on to figured out. And when it comes to underdogs prop bets, I don't give many of them, but when I give you a prop bet or an underdog pick, those are 9 out of 10 times for sure to hit, because I don't play them often. If I play them, it's for a very good reason. And if I show you my track record with that, I'm like in the 90% range, 80, definitely upper 80% range of hitting those. And for those things, the way they pay out, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, you don't have to even be right half the time for you to make profit. So, all right, guys, it was good to talk with you again. I look forward to making more videos. Stay up there.